Most people think picking a retirement state is about weather or lifestyle, but the truth is your real lifestyle is determined by how much money you get to keep after taxes. And here's the crazy part. Two states can feel identical on the surface, but one quietly drains your wealth every year. It's that sucking sound that you hear from your bank account that causes anxiety. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Mark, and I help people plan relocations and buy and sell property in the U.S. and around the world, and I've personally helped over 500 families successfully relocate and buy homes with confidence. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through state by state the most popular retirement locations and show you exactly what homes cost, what the taxes look like, and where people get it completely wrong. Because once you see this, you'll never look at tax-friendly states the same again. Now, let's start with one of the most talked about states, Florida. Now, that's where I live. And on paper, it's a dream. No state income tax, no tax on Social Security, no tax on retirement income. Sounds perfect, right? Well, let's talk numbers. In Florida, condos on the smaller cities can range from $250,000 to about $400,000, and single-family homes typically fall between $400,000 and $700,000. And if you're looking near the water, you know, those prices can really go up, $800,000 to $1.5 million and more. That's very common in Florida. Now, property taxes are moderate, usually around 0.8 to 1.2%. And sales tax sits right now at about 6 to 7.5%, depending on the county that you actually live in. Now, there is a bill in front of the state Senate that's talking about raising the sales taxes, but also decreasing the property taxes, but we'll wait and see if that actually takes place. So while you're saving on income tax, you're still paying through housing and lifestyle. So now let's move to Texas. Again, no state income tax. Homes here are generally more affordable than they are here in Florida. And if you're looking at around $300,000 to $500,000 for solid suburban homes, and then you're probably in the $500,000 to $800,000 range for larger family homes. And the luxury market can cross $1 million. But here's the trade-off. Property taxes are high, often between 1.8 and 2.5%. So even though home prices are lower, your yearly tax bill can feel heavier than expected. Now, the sales taxes sit around 8 to 8.25%. So it really depends on where you are in the state. So Texas saves you on income tax, but hits you on the property tax. Now, let's talk about Tennessee. There's no income tax again here in Tennessee. Homes are relatively affordable. And you can find properties between about $250,000 and $450,000 in many areas. Family homes range from $400,000 to $650,000, and premium locations can push higher. But here's the catch. Sales tax is one of the highest in the country, around 9 to 9.5%. And yes, that's even on groceries. They're taxed. So daily living costs creep up more than people expect. Now, our next consideration is Nevada. Now, Nevada has no income tax. Las Vegas and the surrounding areas offer homes between $350,000 and $550,000, and higher-end homes range from $600,000 to $900,000. And property taxes are relatively low, around 0.5% to 0.8%. And then sales tax sits near 8%. So Nevada is one of those more balanced states overall. Here's where things get flipped up a little bit. Let's talk about California. This is where people get burned. Income tax can go as high as 13.3%. Home prices, entry-level condos start around $500,000 to $700,000, and then single-family homes range from $700,000 to $1.2 million and up. And in the major cities, it's easy to go to $1.5 to $2 million and more. Now, property tax rates seem to be low, about 0.7 to 1%, but because prices are so high, you're still paying quite a bit. And sales tax sits around 7.25% to 10%, depending on your location. So California hits you from multiple angles. Now, let's go to another state that's kind of high, and that's New York. Similar story. High income taxes, high property taxes, home prices vary a lot. So outside New York City, you might find homes from $300,000 to $600,000, but you move closer to the city, you're $600,000 to $1 million or more easily. And in the city itself, you're at 1 to 2 at a minimum price. Property taxes are among the highest in the country, often 1.5% to 2%, and sales tax is around 8 to 9%. Now, let's talk about a hidden gem, and that happens to be Georgia. Moderate state income tax, around 5 to 6%. But retirement income does get a favorable treatment. Homes are still relatively affordable in the $300,000 to $500,000 range for many areas, and then $500,000 to $800,000 for the larger homes. Now, property tax rates are around 0.8 to 1.2%, and sales tax sits near 7%. So Georgia gives you kind of a balance of affordability and tax relief. So now here's another state that's kind of underrated, and that's South Dakota. No income tax. Homes range from $250,000 to $400,000, and the higher end properties go $400,000 to $600,000. And property taxes are moderate; they're around 1 to 1.5%, and sales tax sits between 6 and 7%. It does have a lower cost of living overall, but there's a less urban lifestyle. So if you have a lot of things that you like to do, it might be a little bit more difficult finding it there. Now, let's zoom out for just a second, because this is the big mistake that people make. They hear no income tax and they stop right there. But as you've seen, Florida saves you on income, but it can cost you more on the housing side. Texas saves you on income, but hits you on the property taxes. And then Tennessee saves you on income, but it takes it back through the sales tax. In the high tax states, well, they do not just tax your income, they layer it across everything. So the real question is not what state has the lowest tax, it's where your specific lifestyle gets taxed the least, because your retirement income, your home value, your spending habits, all of that changes the equation. So before you decide where to move, run the numbers based on your life, not someone else's ranking, because the difference between a smart move and a bad one could easily be tens of thousands of dollars every year. And if you want help figuring out the best place on your exact situation, that's exactly what I help people do. So call the number below for free one-on-one guidance to buy or sell anywhere in the United States or around the world. And I'll see you in the next one.